Hi, everybody. Lucas and Cynthia here with Hometown Hero. Thank you for joining us. Had a wonderful Monday at the House Committee hearing that was wild, to say the least.
House State Affairs Committee.
There you go. I think everybody is finally recovering multiple days after that event,
Yes.
which was absolutely wonderful to see.
It was.
The turnout was incredible. For everybody that showed up just right out the gate, thank you. We love you guys. It's an honor to be a part of this for Cynthia and I both. And to see that many people actually give a damn and show up and represent the industry was one of the coolest things we've ever seen. We were both told by multiple people there that have been sort of around the Capitol for decades that was one of the highest turnouts they have ever seen in their careers at a hearing. And it was a committee hearing, which makes it even more incredible. So thank you to everybody that took the time to be there, and we got to meet everybody, and thank you. It was wonderful. It was so wonderful to meet everybody and be there and be a part of that, and be a part of Texas history.
Yeah, it was amazing. And you know what's funny is that, like, sometimes you'll focus on, or somebody will say something like, well, you know, so-and-so doesn't like you. And it's like, I don't care, don't like me. But let me tell you what, for everybody who doesn't like me or us or whatever, there were hundreds of people that could not show their appreciation enough. It was so overwhelming, and you guys know who you are. I don't want to name names because I'm going to miss somebody, and then I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
There was over 1,000 people there.
But everybody was so fabulous and so amazing, and like the love. And also, I want to give kudos to you, Mr. Man. I mean, I know we fight like, we were married at one time, but
We weren't.
we were not, because I would have murdered him. Thank you to you for like keeping everybody motivated, ordering all that food throughout the day, the phone chargers, the Celsius, the waters. I mean, you knocked it out of the park. Rockstar, true leadership. You stayed with the ship until the ship docked. I mean, we were there till 2 a.m. Yeah. And like, thank you for thinking ahead and keeping everybody motivated. And really, that was amazing.
It got to a point where it quickly became obvious that if people had to leave to go get food, to go get water, to go fix their phone chargers, because I don't think anybody came into this expecting to be there until 2 a.m. Yeah. Nobody did. We didn't even have that expectation. Yeah. So to have that sort of dropped in our laps of like, oh, by the way, we're running this until when it stops. At one point I was told we may be here until 8 a.m. And so once that realization kind of hit, it's like, okay, we've got a different issue now of how do we make sure that people can stay here? Because if anybody left and they called their names, that's it. You're done. Your testimony is gone. Your voice isn't heard.
Did you notice how it was different this time when we had the Senate State Affairs Committee hearing? The chair of that committee, he would call people over and over and over. He'd call your name 4 or 5 times. He gave people a lot of opportunities to show up.
It was not like that here.
It was not like that on the House side.
You had about 30 seconds.
Yes, you had one chance, and that was it.
And we had people, so there was the main hearing room, and then across the hallway was an overflow room with a TV. The TV's on a bit of a delay because it's on a live feed. And so they're calling names. We're having to have people listen and call out names, shuffle people over. I mean, it was wild. It's definitely, my strategy is going to change for the next hearing in terms of how we manage this and having runners and having people like involved to go get food and chargers, and like, we kind of did all this on the fly, but now that I'm understanding it better and sort of building my strategy around this, and with the expectation that we're going to do this again this session, it's really changed how I think about this and how we sort of manage our effort and just keep people there and keep them fed, keep them hydrated, keep them caffeinated.
I've never been so happy to see a Chick-fil-A sandwich in my life.
I put down 3 Celsius. I had 3 Celsiuses that day, and by 2 a.m. I was I couldn't keep my eyes open without them twitching. It was a long day. It was a long day for everybody.
And we were still texting at 3:30 in the morning.
I didn't get home until 3, and I didn't get in bed until 4.
Yeah,
and then I was back at the office the next morning because you and I were both just getting slammed with calls. Everybody's asking how this went, what happened, what's the deal, where are we at? Like, are they going to vote right now? I'm like, they aren't even awake yet. Nobody's voting on anything right now.
They're still scrounging for coffee. But it was a great day in that, it was crazy long, so tiring, but it was a great day, and that was the purest sense of community, people coming together for something they cared about, and it was really heartwarming. And let me tell you, the number of people, I go to the restroom, and the people on the way who were just like, thank you, I saw your video, and just random strangers, and it was so nice because we don't get any sleep. This is 24/7, we're going all the time. This is not the only state we deal with. Yep. And it's just to have people take the time to say thank you is just so genuine and so nice and so wonderful. And so thank you, everybody. That was amazing.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, for Cynthia and I, we put our heart and soul into this. And we spend, I don't even count how many hours a week either one of us work. I'm at home. I was texting you. We're getting texts at midnight last night. Yeah. People are texting us. It's never ending. It never ends. It's all consuming. I get small windows of a personal life around.
Oh, you have a personal life?
Sometimes. I get small windows. I get small windows of a personal life around what we do. but especially in a legislative session, I mean, this is all consuming and everything is on the line. And there, at no point can you say, I don't want to deal with this, I'm going to take a break.
Yeah.
And so like, I will sneak away to go see my kids when I can. But I mean, the reality is I'm on call nonstop. Both of us are.
Yeah.
At any moment, we have to drop whatever we are doing and be able to jump in and help fight for this industry and make sure that it stays here and fight for the people involved.
And I just want to say also, somebody said to me, not at the hearing, but a few days before the hearing, somebody said to me, I don't know why we don't just wait to go to court, because none of this works. None of this has an impact. And I was so offended. I was upset because it's a friend of mine who said it. And I was like, well, thank you for undermining everything that we do. And I'm like, but the fact of the matter is that this is the process. This is what you do. Like, going to court is a last resort. You don't want to have to end up there.
And just to touch on that, I think it's important that everybody understands, had we not had the showing that we had, okay, so let's go back to October, the beverage committee hearing in the Senate, right, that I showed up at. There were two people. I was one of two people that showed up to that committee hearing. I got torn to shreds. I'm not going to call any names on the political side, but I got torn to shreds there for about half an hour without really being able to speak, and it was brutal. And that moment for me really kind of changed a lot of the way that I think about this. We had not really pushed for a lot of people to be there. It was a very short notice hearing, and it was brutal. And so what happened in the Senate, right? They slammed through SB 3. Now, luckily,
but we knew that was going to happen.
We knew, and we were expecting that. But it had the show up that we had not happened, HB 28 would have passed, and it would have gone through this committee, and then it's going to the House, and then this industry is gone as we know it. So I cannot stress to everybody enough how important Monday and showing up for this industry was. And I'll say it again, and I said it on multiple videos. If you didn't show up, get off your ass next time and be there. Next time we let you know where to be and when, get off your ass and get there. You should not be in this industry if you're wasting everybody's time and not participating, not being active, because the only reason this industry exists is because of the people that showed up on Monday. Every single one of those people deserve your thanks and your gratitude, because that is the only reason this industry is existing at this point. If you didn't show up, if you didn't shut down your store, if you didn't get all your employees there, get off your ass and stop playing games. You need to be there next time we let everybody know. This is not a joke. This is not games. These people are trying to kill our industry. If you don't get off your ass and do something, they are going to. Please help us. We cannot do this by ourselves. We've done this by ourselves for a long time. We cannot continue to do that. To everybody that showed up on Monday, you guys are saints. You're amazing. You deserve everybody's gratitude and everybody's business. If you know somebody that showed up on Monday, thank them. Give them love, give them support. They went through a lot to be there and to represent everybody else that chose not to show up. So that's it. I'm done talking.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the actual hearing?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So, did you notice, or at least I thought, that there were some prevalent themes, and we can talk about them. One was a lot of attention on vapes. Another was a lot of attention on synthetics. And I think we should kind of talk about those. I mean, there were also a lot of amazing personal stories. I mean, it was just, one woman toward the end had me like all misty and crying just listening to her.
I think I cried multiple times during this thing.
It was just really something. So let's go. So I will say this. I think, I thank everybody who showed up. Everybody was amazing. Thank you. And it seems like there is this propensity or, you want to agree with people. So the synthetic thing came up early on because we had, people testifying about that. So here's the thing, is that people work on their testimony. We hope they work on their testimony. Either it's your personal story or whatever the testimony is. But I noticed this trend where everybody latched onto the thing that they think legislators hate, which is synthetic. And so all of a sudden, everybody's talking about synthetics are bad. But the thing is, I don't think they understand what synthetics are.
Not one person there accurately testified in regards to synthetic products and what synthetics are. I didn't hear a single person that actually testified appropriately. The problem that people get into with the word synthetic is a chemical definition, and most people have no clue what that means. There's a vast difference between using synthesis and something being actually synthetic.
Synthetic means that it cannot be found naturally in nature.
Correct.
So it must be manufactured. There was a guy, well, you were there, close to 2 a.m., who started talking about the synthetics at the gas station, and I was like, oh my God, ask him for examples. I want to know what the synthetics were. And then they did ask him, and he ends up at 7-hydroxy. I'm like, that's not even a cannabinoid.
That's kratom. It has nothing to do with these products. And then the politician was taking notes.
Yeah,
and I'm
it's a real thing. And it's
God.
If you don't know what you're talking about, please don't cater to what you think they want to hear.
It's okay to say, I don't know.
And it's okay to say synthetics have been illegal since 2011. There's a penalty code. It's group 2. I mean, you don't have to, tell your story. Don't go into stuff you don't know. Everybody did an amazing job. And if you don't know something, don't go into it because there's rabbit holes you can't get out of.
And there's two parts to that. If you don't know something or you don't understand something, don't put it in your testimony. And then also, if they ask you questions about it, say you don't know. I got asked after my testimony, my second testimony, about cannabinoids I'd never even heard of. Never heard of. And I've been doing this for 10 years now, and they were asking me stuff off a list that somebody had given them, and I openly told them, I have never heard of that. I have no idea what that is. Yeah. It's okay to say that.
Yeah, I will get back to you. My office will get back to you. Whatever, it's all good. You don't have to make stuff up. And you don't have to, we have such strong arguments in favor of maintaining and keeping this industry. We don't have to give them extra reasons. And so and when you talk about synthetics, without really knowing what synthetics are, which is, synthetics are things that cannot be found naturally in nature, you're just throwing probably a bunch of your colleagues under the bus. And that is super not cool. Absolutely not. This is a group effort. We're trying to maintain and save it for everybody, not a select few. And when you say things like that, you don't make it better. I mean, talking about synthetic cannabinoids at the gas station and then using 7-hydroxy as the example, how did this help? It didn't. Is the point. So I appreciate everybody who came out. I know it was a long day and, I'm still a little bit sleep deprived, but know what you're talking about. Don't go down avenues that there's no good escape from. It's like going down the alley, that just, there's no way out of the alley and there's like a bunch of guys standing there with axes. You're not gonna get out of it. Don't go there. It's not a good idea. Don't go. So anyway, that was my thing with synthetics. People just seem to latch onto that because it's what they thought the legislators wanted to hear. And, not being factual, not being able to explicitly explain what something is, in the end, does not help us. And also, if anybody can find synthetic cannabinoids for sale, please send them to me. Send them to me because I would like to see them and get them off the market. So everybody who testified that they see synthetics being sold all the time, please send them to me. info@hometownhero.com.
They don't exist. Nobody's selling them.
I want to see them. A lot of people testify. I want to see them because, okay. Anyway, the other thing
By the way, just call law enforcement because they're already illegal.
Well, for me, I'm just so curious what these products are that people are seeing. What are we talking about here? Because there were less chemists than there were people testifying. And I didn't hear one chemist say that they see synthetics being sold everywhere.
It is odd that none of the chemists talked about the synthetic products being sold. None of them.
Correct.
There's a reason for that, by the way.
Yes. So
they actually understand what the word synthetic means.
Correct. So this is that. Anyway, the other thing I found super interesting, and we can speculate all day if you want, vapes kept being brought up a lot, and I don't know why. It was so
weird. Well, if you go back to vapes, probably, I don't know, what was it, 7 or 8 years ago, they had all the grandmother was making them in California and shipping them across the country. They got busted.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, it was vitamin E acetate that they were putting in the vapes.
That was all marijuana.
I know it was marijuana. It was marijuana mixed with harmful chemicals, but I strongly believe they've been able to get traction on that in the past, and now they're trying to reutilize that against the hemp industry.
Well, I will
because all of it was nonsense.
I will tell you that one of the people who testified, I don't know if it was in an expert capacity, I don't remember, but they testified early on, and then when asked for an example of a state that regulates well, which I think Texas does a great job of regulating, like Texas, up until, this recent effort, Texas has been such a business-friendly state, and now it's like, throw it to hell or whatever. But this woman said, Colorado. Colorado is a crap state.
Yeah.
Colorado sucks. They stacked a task force with a bunch of marijuana people and a bunch of investors and one hemp person who had a completely different vested interest. And do you see any hemp being sold in Colorado?
Well, we've talked about it in video. There's a bunch of companies in Colorado going out of business because the industry's so wrought with just
those are marijuana companies.
Crazy
There's
stuff.
No hemp business in Colorado.
None. There is no hemp in Colorado.
Why would you be testifying about the hemp industry and then use a marijuana state as an example of what is good regulation? Are you So that person, that woman, total double agent. Because you get in there and you're talking about how you're trying to save hemp or, opining on hemp, and then you use a terrible marijuana state that's going bankrupt to say this is how we should do it?
Yeah.
How are you helping?
Yeah.
Double agent. So I didn't appreciate that. And there were a lot of people who could not point to a well-regulated state. You know why? Because Texas is the best in the country. The only thing it's missing is that age regulation, which they could easily do. The child resistant
They could have
packaging.
easily done multiple sessions now.
Yes. the child-resistant packaging, and the setbacks. Like, nobody's arguing any of these things. And the thing is like, not one person said, Texas has great regulation since 2019. My other pet peeve is all the people who got up there, well-intentioned, well-meaning, and said, we just need regulate. We have regulation. We've had them for 6 years.
The only reason this industry doesn't have an age gate is because of the politicians. It wasn't passed, it wasn't put on HB 1325, and then every
and I think
session,
that was just an oversight.
Correct, and every session since then, we've tried to push for it, and the politicians have fought back. The only reason there's not an age gate in the hemp industry at this point is from the political side of Texas, and it has nothing to do with us because we're constantly fighting for it.
Yeah, I mean, and we already, I mean, the majority of the industry uses child-resistant packaging, and, you know, it's like, say that. Don't, you know, and again, if you want to fight smart, then use the arguments that are factual, right? And so I appreciate everybody, and, you know, I spent the weekend working on multiple people's testimonies and like editing and fixing and this and that. So I'm happy to help whoever, whenever, and, you know, these things do go into the record. And if we go in and we present a disorganized front, you know, or the messaging is conflicting, it makes it harder for them. Right, for legislators, and so because now they have to wade through all these different things. Well, what is synthetic? What is this? What, you know, we need to make it easier for them. Yeah. So we need to all be on the same page when we do this again.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know how we're going to do that.
We'll get there.
So I thought that was interesting. But anyway, so the vapes, I don't understand what all this attention on vapes was, and I don't know. Do you have a theory?
It's just low-hanging fruit. It's an opportunity for the opposition to try and attack us and try and make us look bad. And vapes have been very contentious in the past. If you go back to the whole nicotine thing in vapes, and like look at how the FDA attacked them when, you know, you've got countries like England who are prescribing them to pregnant women to get them to stop smoking. Yeah. Like, vapes are 99% more healthy than a cigarette. So the fact that vapes sort of took the bad rap that they did in the US is really fascinating. And I think it's low-hanging fruit. They see it as an easy opportunity to attack, and it is what it is.
I don't remember this woman's name, but my favorite, I mean, she was just, there were a lot of favorites actually, but this woman was amazing because she said the hemp industry is the purest form of harm reduction, which is what vapes are. And the hemp industry is harm reduction. And I was like, oh my God, I love this chick. Like, this is so true. And it's just like, we need more of that.
The amount of veterans that testified that the hemp products got them away from opioids was insane.
The veterans slayed.
Yeah, shout out to all the veterans that were there.
God.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. I mean, just amazing. Thank God for these veterans. Thank them for their, thank you for their service.
And not just giving us our freedom and allowing us to be here as a country, but the fact that they showed up and fought for us and the way that they did at this hearing was incredible.
They're still sacrificing for this country. It's amazing. I mean,
the VA doesn't serve them, continuously causes harm to them with what they do, and so it's very, very important that they have access to these products and they made their voices heard.
Absolutely. It just was a beautiful, beautiful thing. The other thing I found interesting, I mean, and I got there at like 7:30 or 7:40 in the morning because the hotel ran out of, whatever, it doesn't matter. But there were already a ton of people there. And it was funny because it wasn't in the Capitol. It was in a different building. But you had to go register. Some people went to register at the Capitol, and then some people registered at this building.
It wasn't super clear on where it was. It even took us a little bit to figure it out and get to the right building.
Yeah, so. Shout out to Curtis, who was directing a lot of traffic and helping people out and that kind of thing. But the sheer number of people that were there was like, I know, and I don't know if you noticed that legislators would go out to like take a break or go somewhere or whatever, and they were talking to people in the hallway. They were talking to people in the lobby on their way to doing whatever they were doing, and they were having conversations. And I was like, this is amazing, because if they came out and the hallway was like completely empty, right? They'd think that the fight was just in there, but that just sent the message. The fight is everywhere. Like, people are not going home. They're going to wait it out. And it was great.
We had the main room filled. We had the overflow room filled. We had people outside. We had people in the hallway. The whole building. And those were the only two bills being heard that day.
Yes.
And that whole building was filled with hemp people.
Yeah, it was amazing. And
all the green ribbons.
All the green ribbons were great. All the people wearing green, dressed in green. I hate Amazon, but I love Amazon. You know, I bought a green scarf like the day before or something, so I had a green scarf to wear. You know, it was great. And like, that kind of unity is just heartwarming. There's so many. I did an interview this morning with a newspaper, and he said, how do you feel about the turnout? Like, you know, does every industry have that? And I said, I don't know that. First of all, number one, our industry is constantly under attack.
Always.
So it's very difficult to feel like any sense of stability or, you know, that kind of thing. I get that it makes it hard to make long-term decisions or whatever. And I said to this reporter, I'm like, but I don't know another industry where people would have showed up like this. I mean, just...
I've never seen it.
It was amazing. It was great. And so, you know, the legislators asked some smart questions. You know, you could... And it was so funny. I felt, and it could be wishful thinking on my part or something, but I felt like you could see the ice cracking a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, you know, we walked in and it's like, bam! And then like halfway through, it's like, we may have to look at this a different way.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
The energy had definitely changed. It was
felt
very,
that way.
in the beginning, it was very standoffish from the politicians versus kind of all the people there in favor of hemp, and it was kind of disheartening. But as the day went on, and they got to hear from the veterans and the parents that are working with their children and trying to figure this stuff out, and all the people that said that the Texas Compassionate Use Program has failed them, just all these amazing people.
Well, I just want to touch on that too. There were a lot of people who made comparisons to the teacup comparisons, not saying that it failed them, but people who were making comparisons to our industry and the teacup industry. And I go back to my position all the time. We have nothing to do with the teacup program. I don't bring them into my conversations. The teacup program is a separate thing. You do whatever you want with the teacup program. This is a federally legal, not illegal program that's backed up by the state. We are federally legal and legal by the state. We're not fighting the teacup fight. If you want to fight the teacup fight, don't do it in the hemp fight. Go fight for teacup separately. And what I found with some of those experts and some other people is that they just kept conflating the two things. Oh, we need hemp because teacup is failing. No. If teacup's going to fail, it's going to fail. The hemp industry needs to be supported in and of itself on its own because it's its own entity, it's its own thing, and it doesn't have anything to do with teacup. And I think, it's just my opinion, I think that when we conflate them and kind of tie them up together, it makes it harder for people to make decisions.
Andrea Steele made a very interesting point that Texas is leading the nation with essentially what is the first federally and state legal sort of program. Within the hemp program, it's really truly an amazing program, and it's at the forefront of what is cannabis within the United States. And it should be looked at as a model, and it should be replicated by other states. The Texas Compassionate Use Program has failed so many people, and we heard it in everybody's testimony.
Well, what I find interesting about that whole whatever is we have politicians who are like rah celebrities who are known for just like being high all the time. And they're like, oh, but let's shut down this industry that we don't like it. I don't like, it's cognitive dissonance. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't get how anybody can see that, dichotomy and be like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's celebrities and they see it as votes.
How do celebrities get you votes?
Notoriety.
No. Taking a picture with a celebrity does not get you a vote.
I mean, that's what I would assume, because how could they be so anti-cannabis and yet take pictures with these people and associate with them?
I don't know, but when Texas becomes the next Hollywood, we'll find out.
It's going to happen soon. It's happening.
It's happening. Anyway, so I just found that interesting. The teacup is its own thing. It needs to be fixed on its own. I don't care if they want to fix teacup. That's not our issue. They need to, we need to be handled separately from that. And we need to not be...
And it needs to be obvious that what was done with teacup has not worked, and it is failing. It's a failing program.
You know what else I don't get? The reluctance on the part of so many politicians to say, yeah, we did a great thing here. I have never seen anything like it. Politicians cannot wait to take credit for stuff, even the stuff they didn't do. And here you have this robust, wonderful market, no deaths, no emergency, no nothing. We need to clean up 2 or 3 things that are easy enough to do, but they turn it into this whole, whatever. Just take credit for adding billions of dollars in economic impact to the state.
50-some thousand jobs.
50-some, just take credit. Take the win.
It's what Texans want. The recent
Yes.
polls, the Basilisk poll shows 68% of Texans, including conservatives, want THC hemp products to stay legal.
Yes.
Take the win.
Take the
win.
win. I mean, who doesn't want? Shocking to me.
Nobody wants it.
No. We want it.
I'll take credit for it.
We want it. The other thing I found interesting is that, and I don't want to give anybody the opportunity to make another video of me, an out of context video.
Oh, it's going to happen. Don't worry. I'm going to make it.
But I found it interesting that, not those people specifically, this is just something in general. On the one hand, we can talk about freedom and liberty in Texas, and everybody loves Texas because, come and take it and all this other stuff or whatever. But wanting to blame an industry for what, adults do is surprising to me, because we don't hold, adults are accountable. There's personal responsibility, but suddenly we should hold everybody responsible. We should put 50,000 people out of a job because an adult made a poor decision. It's oh, I broke my ankle wearing these Manolo Blahniks. I want to ban the shoe industry.
Well, we caught the Texas Compassionate Use Program. We caught somebody from there going online and recruiting moms out of Facebook groups.
You stop it.
We caught them. They were using their exact talking points, trying to recruit people to come speak at the Capitol on behalf of the Texas Compassionate Use Program companies. We've caught them doing it. They've been doing it for a while now, and that's where they're finding these people. So I'm questioning now: are these people that just want to have some notoriety and like want to be looked at as a public figure, or do they actually have an issue going on now? And even if they do have an issue, every single one of them, like you said, we're talking about grown-ass men. I'm just going to say it. These are grown-ass men that they're claiming to be children and having issues with that, and sort of, oh, they hit one hit off the vape and they went from an honor roll student to wanting to murder a family. Like, I sincerely sympathize with everybody that's in a horrible situation like that. Mental illness is a very real deal. I come from the world of veterans. It's a very real thing. But you can't assign blame to something that just happens to be there when they go through a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And there's another component that hasn't been discussed yet of when people end up in a hospital for some sort of drug use, nobody wants to say they were using an illegal drug. Nobody wants to admit that because it causes a legal issue. So what is the easiest thing to say? Oh, I was using a hemp product. I was using a marijuana product. This is very common. You can go to any ER room and they will confirm this. People don't want to admit to using illegal drugs because then what's the next conversation? Where'd you get it? Who'd you buy it from? How long have you been using these illegal drugs? Nobody wants to go down that path. So what's the easiest thing to do? Oh, I smoked a joint and then it led me here and here we are. You know, it gave me these crazy thoughts and now I want to hurt people. So it's very easy for somebody in that situation to attribute, even to their parents, if they're a grown-ass man, they can attribute whatever their issues are to a cannabis product because it's the easiest path out. And nobody has talked about this, and I think it's very important that people understand this. So it was pretty obvious at one point that everybody was hungry. We're trying to figure out what to do. So we decided to order food. I think at first we did a grocery order. I think I broke my Instacart record. We did a $2,600 Instacart order to get everybody phone chargers and water and Celsius and protein drinks.
Yeah, you came to the hearing and you were like, where's your credit card? Give me the credit card. Give me the company card. Give me the card.
People are like, we need stuff.
I'm like, well, give me a second.
I'm like, Cynthia's got a credit card. Let me go use her credit card. And then I called Preston, who's our CFO here, and I was like, hey, I'm putting a whole bunch of stuff on Cynthia's card. It's her doing, not me. And he's like, oh my gosh. So we ended up placing like a $2,600 Instacart order, which came, and the guy had his card loaded to the brim, which was awesome. Got everybody taken care of there. We ordered pizzas. I think we spent another like $700 on pizza. And then I think at night we did a Chick-fil-A order. Nicole got 175 Chick-fil-A sandwiches, which probably another $700 or whatever. I don't even know. It was a lot. It was expensive, but it was totally worth it.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
For us, like, yeah, it's expensive, but to be able to take care of the people that are there to save this industry, it's just a no-brainer. And somebody had to do it, and somebody needed to do it, and we just were like, that's us. We're the people that everybody's, getting everybody here. Like, let's just take care of them. And it was kind of I asked Cynthia, I was like, should we do this? She's like, yeah, do it, go. Yeah. And so it was kind of a no-brainer. So everybody that told us thank you for that, you're welcome. It was an honor to be there with you guys, and we will do it again next time. So next time, pizza party at the Capitol. Woo!
Great turnout. Next steps are that we hope, listen, that was a lot of opposition to a bill in a House committee hearing, right? Or in any committee hearing, that was a lot of opposition. And so best case scenario now is that the author goes back and considers the myriad of options that were presented during the hearing. Yeah. So that is our goal. That committee, they can take a week or two. It could never leave the committee. It might leave the committee with changes.
And there are two bills at play. It's SB 3 and HB 28, both that there were hearings on.
Yes, I'm talking about HB 28 because the author of HB 28 was in the House committee hearing. So hopefully, this is an opportunity and I do have to give a shout out to Representative Ken King. It's his bill. We don't love his bill at all. However, that man was so controlled and polite.
And there the whole time?
And there the whole time. Kudos to that guy. He cut you off at your 2 minutes. He was super strict with that, but he was so polite and he asked thoughtful questions. Thank goodness for politicians like the ones we have in the House, right, that are willing to be independent thinkers, hold the line, review things, not just do knee-jerk reactions because somebody in the Senate wants that. And so I appreciate these people. So thank you, Representative King.
And to all the representatives.
All the representatives. Really wonderful questions and, staying with us the whole time and giving every single person an opportunity to speak. There are some states where they will cut it after a certain amount of time or after a certain number of speakers or if they feel like it. Yeah. And, this was representative democracy in action. So thank you to the chairman for just being so thoughtful with us and being open and willing to listen to everything that everybody had to say.
And all the great questions from all the representatives. And again, staying there until 2 a.m. For those of you that weren't there, all the representatives stayed there until 2 a.m, which is wildly impressive. I was not expecting that, and I was kind of in shock. And they were with us until the very end, and I cannot thank them enough for that. whole premise of what happened was drastically different than what happened in the Senate. And it really gave me a lot of faith in the House of doing what is best for Texans and for Texas in this matter.
And when you, audience, thank representatives and you remind them to not vote on HB 28, vote no on HB 28, thank them for their willingness to stick it out and to listen and to ask questions, because it was, it was really great. It was a totally different experience than in the Senate. And I think that may have something to do with the more independent mindedness of the House. I'm not sure, but it was great. And so we are thankful and we appreciate it.
Now, quick question, because we're getting asked this a lot right now. So there's going to be deliberation over these two bills within the committee, within the House State Affairs Committee. At one point, they are going to make a decision, one or both of the bills, to make it out of the committee. And then it will go to the House. So my understanding is once that happens, at some point within the House, we're going to ask for everybody to come back and testify again within the House. Whether it's just on 4242, House Bill 4242, which is the bill that has the proper regulations for this industry that addresses all of the issues that were brought up, or potentially one of these two bills if they make it out of this committee, and we're going to have everybody come back and testify again at the House. Any kind of rough idea time frame? I mean, I think we're down to less than 60 days now left in session, and so it's a question of is this like a tomorrow thing? Is this like a 3-week thing?
I don't think it's a tomorrow thing. It might have been a tomorrow thing if nobody had showed up or a handful of people had showed up. But I think given the masses of people that showed up, it has to give you pause for thought, right? Yeah. You have to stop and consider what are the implications of this many people showing up. So I'm not saying that it slowed it down, but I do think that there is tons of basis now for being way more thoughtful in the approach to this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna openly say it. I think we have 2 more pizza parties. I think that's what I'm calling them now. We have 2 more.
I don't eat pizza.
Well, I'll get you a poke bowl. We have 2 more pizza parties. We have one coming up at some point within the House, which that date is to be determined. We'll probably get a few days notice, and we'll put out a call to action, let everybody know, and we'll bring everybody to the House to testify, specifically around 4242, possibly one other 2 if they leave committee. And then we've got one more after that, which will probably involve the Senate. The Senate will at some point have another hearing around this stuff. We'll ask everybody to come.
So only if it may. Do you mean SB 3 or 28 or HB 28?
I'm talking 4242 potentially.
Oh, 4242, yeah.
Because the goal is to get 4242 out of the House and into the Senate, and then at that point we'll ask everybody to come to the Senate hearing regards to 4242.
And the thing is like to your earlier point, we're just like waiting. Everybody's on high alert.
Everybody's asking for a day. There is no day right now. There's no dates on anything. I apologize. I wish I could give you more information.
Yeah.
This is as it's given to us, and the second we know, we will let you know. But we are in a waiting period right now for literally just somebody to give us dates and tell us what's going on. They do have to announce it. So 2 more pizza parties, one coming up in the House, one coming up in the Senate, and both of those will be within the next 50 days, 60 days. Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
That's all the information we have right now, and I apologize. I wish we had more, but that's all that we have right now.
That's how it works.
Yep.
I mean, it just is what it is. So, I mean, overall, an amazing effort by this industry. I'm proud to be part of this industry.
Honored.
I'm proud of the people who showed up. I am honored of the people who showed up. And, the fight is not over. Stay on high alert. This is not the end. Hopefully it was the end. It's not the end. Just stay on high alert and we'll let you know what to do next.
If you have not contacted the representatives that are in the committee, you still have time to contact them. You can call in, you can submit your information. But really, when you call in, you're asking them to log your opposition to SB 3 and HB 28. It's very important that you do this. Also be very polite and also thank them for their time. These are people that are doing this, out of the goodwill of their hearts. They're doing this to represent Texans because they care about us. So please be polite when you call in. Don't be adversarial. There's no need to be. Lewis will put the list. We can show it on the screen right now, so you can pause screen. It should be on the screen right now for you guys. We'll also put a link in the descriptions wherever this video shows up. I know Joe's been pushing it out on social media as well. That list is available with the House of Representative Committee members with all their contact information. That list is available pretty much anywhere you can find us.
And it's the State Affairs Committee. And
correct.
That's on the Texas If you type in Texas Legislature online, you can find the House, and then you can find the committees, and it's the State Affairs Committee.
Yeah, it's just these 15 people right now that matter the most. At some point, we will ask everybody to contact their actual individual representative for your zip code, but right now, it's specifically the committee members that have control over these 2 bills. And just a reminder, if you aren't watching them, we're doing daily updates on our shorts. We've got YouTube Shorts, we've got TikTok, we've got Instagram. All these places you can see our daily updates. We're doing them less than 60 seconds typically. Joe and Lewis are doing phenomenal jobs on putting all this together and keeping everybody updated. That also gives us feedback. Feel free to leave comments. Let us know if you have questions. We can address that stuff and we can address it very quickly. We're filming these every single morning and we're putting them out same day. So that's kind of everything in a nutshell. Thank you again to everybody that showed up. You guys are badasses. We love you. So proud and so honored to be in this fight with you guys and keeping this industry alive. Love you guys as always. Cynthia and Lucas here. Happy hunting.